What did I do with my... How come it's not plugged in yet? I'm not plugging it in. Okay. You get comfy, Benny. I'll be right there, Benny. Benny, you get comfy, Benny. I don't feel like listening to all the small things, but every time I do, I think of Jay Sachs. Hi, welcome to my tube. Why are there all those messages retracted? What's going on? Someone's going crazy with the emoticons or whatever, little photos. Happy Ho 3 times day. Ho, ho, ho. We had a pretty good day. I got a snack tray. That's my programming for the holidays. That's like my what I go to, because like when I always worked in Corp USA, so they always had snack trays, and I like the pepperoni and sausage and cheese stuff. So I just got a little one. Just a little one. I got a couple little things of fudge, and I made cookies today. Made cookies. Tomorrow I'm just gonna make some regular for Mom and some folks, whoever, you know, some regular milk chocolate Toll House. Like, I'm gonna make them in the morning, and then Mom will have ice cream, and I was gonna put some hot cocoa over the ice cream with the warm out of the oven toaster for Christmas morning breakfast. Cause hey, why not, huh, Mom?
Yeah, right.
Right?
That's right.
Right? I got a little something today. I went to Walmart and got Mom a little something so she'd have a present to open in the morning. I was like, hey, Ma, you want to open the present tonight, and then I'll wrap it again and put it under the tree, and you can open it again tomorrow?
Just open it tomorrow.
So, I don't know. I always get the spirit in me. The spirit in me. You know, and I always like, and for like the last few years, it's like, I'm not gonna do anything, and then it's always at the last minute I rush around and I do something. You know, I went and got the DOG some couple more toys. One of them Benny already killed. He killed it in like freaking like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. It was just pop the top. It was over. But the other two are pretty durable. I'm looking around where they are.
They're underneath the tree.
No, they're right here. There's this cow one that's pretty durable. Then they all played with it. They all had their chance. Except Artie. Artie don't really like toys. He likes to play with the frisbee. He likes to play. He used to like to play catch. He used to play frisbee. Like, we used to play for hours. He has a bum knee. Well, he has a kind of a tumor thing on his knee now. I wonder if that's related at all to it. So, things are gonna get crazy. Hope people are ready. And just, I'll be ready is just be like, dude, whatever you see, just be like, wow, man, that's a trip. Just try not to take on it, you know, because people are just gonna lose their shit. They already are. They already are, and it's only getting worse. And we're seeing it in the media, in like the commercials. Even the astrology is saying it's going to get weirder. And it's true. Like the Luciferi Tale Theater being promoted on Match.com. I mean, this stuff is just like, it's like all this stuff that is just would like when people were sitting around when they were kids thinking about, wouldn't it be weird if this were happening? It's all that reality is coming true. See, because the Earth is like in 4D. And it's either going to go freaking just like stay in 3D or freaking ascend to 5. But right now it's kind of floating around in the mercurials of 4D. Because all that lower shadowy stuff is being brought out. People are seeing it. Lord knows I'm not a perfect person. And then I get so mad. I get so upset when freaking people have expectations of me and I can't live up to them. That's real bothersome to me too. Not as much as the olden days, but now it's just like, you know what? I was talking to my buddy this morning, and I was like, you know, Carl, we were talking about how God is in the present. And God can't be with me in the past. and the things I've done in the past. And God ain't with me when I think about the things or the places I want to go or the things I want to do in the future. He ain't there. He's only with me in the present moment. And so, for my transgressions, for things that I've done to people before, hopefully one day I'll be in a position to make it up for it to you. You know, to keep my side of the street clean. Okay? You know? But right now I still have a residence that I'm trying to get permanent now. So, you know. We all gotta do what we gotta do to take care of our families. I saw a couple of those messages last night that I retracted. And I was like, wait a minute. Because one of them said something like, it's been 3 months and the place is uninhabitable. And I was like, it's only been 2. I left October 18th. It's only been 2.
Why would you say that?
It's just, people just, they're mad at me because of how I didn't leave the place we left in Oregon in stellar condition. But they don't mention the 600, the pile of junk I had hauled off. There was like a bed frame and a new twin-size mattress that I left on the inside. And the floors, there's 2 parts in the room where you slept and in the living room where the laminate needs to be replaced. And yeah. But I also sent her $500. I didn't leave her the $900 freaking city bill, and I still didn't have running water for 3 years, and I still paid the bill for it, so I wouldn't stick her, And it's just like, it's perception. It's how people look at things. Okay. Like, I look at it as I did the best I could with what I had, and she looks at it as like, I'm a piece of shit scumbag. And I'm like, I'm one person with a bad back trying to do the best I can to take care of my family. Sorry I couldn't live up to your expectation. So somebody was in my chat last night talking shit. And that's okay.
Was it her?
What? I don't know. It's her or somebody she knows. I don't know. I don't care. We aren't even friends anymore.
How cool.
We haven't been friends in years. And then people use terms like childhood friend. I'm like, dude, yeah, we were friends when we were kids, but evidently that didn't frickin' stretch out to present day. So, because both of our behaviors and our actions and our lack thereof. And what the fuck? What difference does it matter anymore anyway? Fast forward 2 months. Hell, I already got all my karma back from the hell I was just frickin' in frickin' Arizona. Dude, my frickin' dog bites still hurt. I got freaking 2 gnarly, in the meat. And I don't know and I've been bit by a handful of dogs. See, and that's how pain is for me, because I've had that dissociate, because people talk about how your spirit can handle whatever. Your spirit just is like collecting data, and it's picking up frequency points. And some of us have had a lot of frequency spikes because we've had trauma in our life. And there's a lot of people that are just like me, that mow the lawn every Sunday, and they, that just have lived these lives that are just, they're like people are so easily programmed. Anyway, so they don't have a lot of spikes in their energy field. But they're going to get them. Everybody's going to get an opportunity, especially in the next few weeks. I don't care if you see, if it's frickin' you're walking home from the store and you see an old lady just get frickin' beat down or hit by a bus or something like that. Everybody on this earth is going to come into their what the fuck if you haven't had it. Hopefully, if you already had it, you're good, because we've all had to go through, especially a lot of us had, somebody said tamales. I saw when I was checking out at the register today, that's cool. When I was at the register today, or was it yesterday? It was yesterday. I let the guy go ahead of me because all he was getting is corn husks to make tamales, and that was it. And when he went through, I guess he knew the chick at the register because he went out, and then he came back in and brought her tamales. And I was like, oh, that makes my heart feel good to see. That's that connection, that human connection. Because that's what I should have done is hey, you got any more of those? Because I love homemade tamales. You know, and where else are they going to be better than in Tejo, New Mexico? You know, I think they make some pretty good ones here. Yeah, so anyway, another synchronicity. Ooh, ham, mashed potatoes. Nice. Today we have tomato. We had cheese tortellini today, this evening. Hi, Carl. Oh, I was also going to talk about another thing that Carl mentioned earlier. Hi, Fredgine. It was ignorance. Is that we need to change that? This is all Carl. We need to change how it's pronounced instead of ignorance, in the spirit of people like, I didn't know. No, they do know. They just act dumb like they don't. So it's should rather be ignorance, that people are living in ignorance, because so many people are living like ostriches with their head just buried in the sand. And I don't care what avenue it's in. Mine was just in how uncomfortable the living situation I was just in. Just with the way people talk to me, and how I've never allowed people to talk to me in that tone. And then when I start to get like defend myself, get squashed, you know, and then get threatened, like, you know, and then, but I'm just like, but that was my ease. It's like I'm getting older and I'm starting to find my ease. Like I don't have to let people get my go.
You don't have to react to it.
Because when I react, that's when I'm like,
That's
bah! Because my bah! I'm like, you know, I mean, people get like startled when I get excited talking, because I can get pretty loud, you know, in a positive way. But when fearful people just hear, they're just like, threat, you know what I mean? And so I got to learn some ease and some peace in that, because freaking Lord knows, man, I've been kind of a freaking, I don't know, I've always been kind of a scrapper. I've always just, that's the thing is, I've lived my whole entire 46 years being the fucking underdog in a situation. I don't care if it's in a room and how many people are in it. If I see bullshit, I'm the one that says, hey, that's not fair. That's not right. Why? I'm the one that questions it. It's always been like that, and people I know can verify that. Or I'm the one that's fucking made mistakes and come in and said, you know what? This is what I did, and this is where I was wrong. And I've done that in the situation of what I was living in. When I was in Oregon, I ain't doing it anymore. I'm done. Chapter close. Nah, ha. Take care. I'm a dick. You know, good thing you don't know me no more. You know what I mean? So, so now we're on to the next word for the freaking, you know, the now we're gonna see how people are, because people how they're spiteful, and how vindictive they are, and how mean they are, and ugly they are, and how they're gonna try and get back at people. That's the next few weeks. And all this Aries energy, see, that's the thing, is people should be glad that I have fucking found my peace. And that I am not raging, because I found meditation, I found God, I found my connection to God, source. And that I let him have all the excess. And that vengeance is God's and not mine. And that I don't have to get mad about shit, or scared that somebody's gonna get me. Dude, I already been gotten. I've been gotten a lot of times in my life. I don't have to be afraid of things that have already happened. And there's so many people on this planet right now that have not had a lot of life experience. So right now, everybody's just like, oh shit, what's going to happen? Come on, Tut-Tuck. Go in the kennel. Nobody's in the kennel. Come on, Tut-Tuck. You already had dinner. Come on. Handsome man. Squirrely. Squirrelington. Come on, go in there. Go in there. Just go in there. There's no lights in there. You like it. So, it's going to be an interesting few weeks. We got lots of rice. We got well water. We got the rice maker. Heck, I'll just ask the lady. I know I got the girls because I like to talk to. I get the people's names at the cash register and say their names and then tell them I'm Marge. I'm like, I'm Marge, like the Simpson. Oh, speaking of, part of a living amends because I was a freaking jerk to somebody that doesn't want to know me anymore. Because sometimes when I say everything I think, people are like, "Oh, that's too much." That's too much. And so, a girl I used to know sells calendars every year. So if you're looking for a cheap freaking present for somebody, I found them. I found it. My dogs were on these calendars in the first couple years because we were friends now. So if you decide to go get a calendar, just say, "Not so large Marge sent you," and she'll know it's from me, that I sent you. And they're like $15. And I think since it's Christmas now, she might like reduce, like sell them for 12 and its shipping's like 5 or something like that. But the Obi and Noggin and Elska, they're all adorable. And Hunter's in there too, I guess. He always gets January. He's a good old boy, Black Lab. He's a good old boy. I got so many pictures of him because I used to hang out with him. But now she hates me. I'm like, I always want to know what exactly was it that I said. Because I always say something and people are just like, that's it, I don't want to talk to her anymore. Sometimes I'm just curious about what it is, that exact thing that I said to make people not want to talk to me anymore.
You say the truth and they are uncomfortable because they don't.
Oh, is that it, Mom? Yeah. Is that Mom's chiming in. Woo! Is it the ice cream kicking in, Mom?
Yeah.
Huh?
But that's what the truth is.
That is what the truth is. See, that's why I listen to my mom, man. Mom, they've been on she's been on this earth since 1950. She's seen a lot of bullshit. So she knows a lot of, hey, that's not true. And hey, that's true. And you know what? She started teaching me what true was and how people act and how they say things. But how they feel is and I ever since I was a little girl, I've been reading energy. See, everybody's talking about energy and frequency now. Yee! New age whoop-de-doo. I've been living it since I was a little girl. I was the kid that always did weird shit. Like, you know, this. I know all kids like do the socket experiment. I just took it to new levels, and I would take anyway. I don't need to get too much into that. But I always knew who had bad eyes.
By people, yeah.
Do people who had bad eyes? I'd walk up to the TV when there's a show called Kids Say the Darndest Things, and point at Bill Cosby, who's now in prison for being a fucking rapist scumbag. Because most of them are. yeah, it's and and I would point and I'd say he had bad eyes. He has bad eyes. And you'd watch the kids. If you go see old footage of that of kids say, you can see how uncomfortable the children are on his lap. And I used to feel the kids uncomfortable because I had weird stuff happen to me that made me feel very uncomfortable. So I knew, I could tell in that energy field that they felt weird because I've been in the same position and it felt weird just like them. Yeah. But there's so many people that have never been around anybody that's ever done fucking pervy or weird or indecent or inappropriate. There's some people that have just lived these lives that just nothing, la, working harder, hardly working. You're going to see the big game this weekend? Hey, did you watch the game last night? I mean, it's just like, these are storylines, terminologies that aren't even really happening on planet Earth anymore. Now it's like, are you vibing high? Are you vibing low? You know? What's your frequency, Kenneth? You know? And are people taking self-care? I mean, like, I got the fudge and stuff today, but I'm like, okay, eat a couple pieces. Because that's the thing. I can eat my feelings. And not only can I eat my feelings when I feel sad, I can eat my feelings when I feel glad too. So I gotta be careful. Yep. Yep. Because there's a lot of freaking. See, that's the thing is when I was in school, when I was junior high, and we used to have the presidential fitness tests and stuff like that. I hated running, but I always like excelled in like the sit and reach and shit like that. You know what I mean? But I had a lot of muscle, but and I was overweight too, and I just wasn't ever real. I was physical. I used to ride my bike for hours. Like a little weird kid I would just go and go and go and just be on my bike. And then but so I always had all this energy, and then when I was in Corp USA and stuff like that, I used it at work, and then it was weird how it shifted. Probably about 2016 is when my energy really, when I stopped drinking tap water, when I got a reverse osmosis filter in my frickin' pituitary gland, my pituitary, not my pineal, my pituitary gland, freaking, that's the feminine. Pineal, that's the, as I understand it, is the masculine. And my feminine was freaking shroud in masculine energy. See, because when you look at my chart, I'm more masculine energy than feminine. And I denied the feminine and the kind and the loving. I got Cancer in my first and second house. And this last couple, I've really gotten to know my chart, and I'm just like, man, no wonder I cry all the time. I cry all the time. I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm raging. And I didn't know why for years. And then a few years ago, I was like, oh shit, I'm Cancer rising. Holy hell. So that's water sign. And then I'm fire. So what happens when I get steam? I get steam. I get like a locomotive that is getting driven by steam. And I have it in me all the time. And people that don't have energy, people that don't have Kundalini life force energy, they see other people and then they're like, what the fuck is that? Because they don't know what it is to have energy, because people are always looking for drugs. They're always looking for caffeine. They're always looking for stuff to make them do more and go faster. And all they got to do is every now and again do less and meditate. Get into source, go outside and walk around a little bit. Get in the same vibrational frequency as the earth. Turn all this stuff out and then tune in with nature around you, and then it's amazing all the shit that you see when the birds come and visit and the critters come up and the jackrabbits, and it's just like, hey man, because when you're chill, when you're the same frequency as them, they'll come chill with you, because they know you're not a threat, right? It's the people with no vibe. Animals recognize them as being a threat. Yeah. When they have no vibe. Yeah. People with no vibe. Fearful people suck, but people with no vibe, that is like next level fucking. Like, I sometimes have to do my own little rituals, unbeknownst to me, but that's what they are, to freaking clear my energy after I've just been with some people that just don't have a frequency. They're void of spirit. It's all ego. They're completely plastic. People void of spirit. So that's what we're getting now. A planet where people just lost connection to God, spirit source. So now everybody's just living on manufactured self-will, and I'm going to make my life happen, and I got the power and all this stuff. And this last year, everybody's like, nope. Nope. A lot of people realize they don't got the power in a lot of ways. So they had to turn shit over to what? I lost mine 4 years ago when I couldn't get a job. And then it was determined that I shouldn't get a job. Then I became a work from home daughter. And then I was networking today. Hey, if you know anybody has any IT problems, I said, couple hours. They got malicious software, whatever, like that. I'll tune it up, a couple hours, $40. Yeah. And especially if I can take it here, and work on it when I'm hanging out with mom. I was telling him today, I'm like, nobody should be charging anybody ever for anything more than $20 an hour. you know, and then Congress just gave themselves a fucking. Oh my God, that bill is just insane. Dude, they need psych evals. At what point do they all have to have psych evals? Every single one of them, including the alcohol quiz, the 23 quiz test. They all should get that too. If they're making that much fucking money, they should have to do whatever we tell them. And they need psych evals, and they should be fucking drug and alcohol eval. Everybody in Congress and in the Senate. And also, they should be required to every year that they sit in that chair. Every year you go for 3 nights and 4 days and sleep amongst the constituents and the people in the tents. Because every state has them now. They're everywhere. You can find somebody to go camp with, and you can just hear for 3 days how they got there. And why they have the addictions, and why they don't want to deal with the bureaucratic bullshit, and why they can't get the help they need. And then you can go back and maybe work with people, the lobbyists and the people with all these special interests that are trying to get millions of dollars sent over fucking seas. We're still doing that? We're still doing that? I still see Made in China all over the place. And I'm still seeing businesses in the USA going out of stock. You know, they took the buyout. That's alright. Hopefully they'll find something else that they can come into their heart to, that they can do to serve the community. Yeah, hopefully. You know, otherwise people just sit back and freaking turn into gluttons and freaking rest on their laurels and let their blessings spoil them. That's what I see every time I see a really grossly obese first responder. I'm like, holy hell, man. Your blessings really fucking spoiled you. Yeah, that's imbalance in people. When people are like, I feel bad or I feel good, so I'm going to eat all this stuff. And then never go walk around. Never burn off the shit that they're consuming. They're just always consuming stuff when they feel bad or they feel good. That's an imbalance. And then what happens when people get imbalanced? They start putting on weight. And then if you drink, it's easier, you're more susceptible to it. Dude, people drink and they get all puffy, turn gray. It's straight up freaking poison, but that's been legal for freaking ever. Right? When are the feds going to put on the bill to freaking decriminalize and legalize cannabis? Because that's where the healing really begins, especially if I make you some cookies. Yeah. Right. So, anyway, it's going to be weird. Just getting weird. I listen to the freaking... Dude makes my third eye twitch sometimes, but that's when my ego flares. And evidently, I might be imbalanced today because I listened to his whole 3-hour talk. It's just because I always hear, when I hear people go, wah, 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 I'm so right. Like, I'll refer to people to old stuff to verify accuracy. But when I hear people and all I hear is just like, I'm right this and I'm right that and right. Talk about how right you are. It's going to be going to balance, and you're going to start getting freaking whatever. You know, people aren't always 100% of anything, ever. That's why I always like, when people show up and they're just like the nines, they're just completely made up. I'm always like, what are they really about in there? How deep do they go? Or shallow. The puffy coats. The puffy coats. The bigger the gauge. Oh, whatever. My identifiers are from my Akashic records, you know. So sometimes people identify with things that, like when I talk about freaking fat cops, you gotta understand. I was in the Air Force. It was like a nightmare with them because they always broke shit. They would just break shit. And they'd never get in trouble for it. They wouldn't have to deal with the consequences, see? And you have these guys that do 4 years or something like that. You know, they're 18, get out there at 22, go home, get, you know, just always get, you know, get stuff. They always know the $1 trillion budget, you know, military defense budget is just whatever. But look at, there's homeless people everywhere. It's an imbalance. You alright, girl? There's dogs everywhere around here. But I'm glad that she's on it. So, they would break shit, and then they were, most of them, yeah, of course not every single one of them, you know, but I would say, like, most of them were just freaking jerks, you know, and they'd sit in their freaking cars and stuff their faces all night, and freaking watch porn on their phones and stuff like that, and they go back home and they get on the police force. And get to do the same behaviors. Yeah. Yeah, look around! Readiness is shit, dude. Readiness in all areas. It's no wonder. And no wonder people are so freaked out about something with a 99% recovery rate. Because they're so fearful because they let themselves go. And I could do it any day. I could stop being physical. I could stop moving around. I could become slothful. I could start drinking any second. You know, so there by the grace of God go I. As I almost poke myself in the eye. Whoops. God's like, pay attention, Marge. Rrr. Being a human is weird, man. Being a spirit is freaking cool. It's badass. Being human, it's weird. It's hard for me to watch what other human beings do to other human beings. And how spiteful and hurtful and vindictive. I don't do things on purpose to hurt people. People evidently, I just do things and they get hurt. But I don't set out going, I wonder how. And there's people that live like that. There are people that live like that just actively try and see how much cognitive dissonance they can interject and how much bullshit and how much they can just stir the pot and how much crap to add just to sake of just fucking sucking. And then now we get the whole world looking like it does. Because more people have been living from ego than spirit. So I just have been doing my part. That's all I can do. I can't live how I used to live. I can't plan to live how I'm gonna. I can just live every day and make sure Mom has everything she wants and needs. Dogs are good. I'm good. And you can't ask for too much than that. And every year that's like, you know, that's the goal in life. And we get by. It hasn't always been great and 100% comfortable, and there's been a lot of nights that we've been cold, but we're not cold tonight, right? I'm not cold right now. And Mom wasn't cold. She always had the space heaters. We still have the space heaters there in the other room, but we have central heat now, gas or whatever. So, you know, every year it gets a little bit better. But, you know, I had my ego stripped down because I strive for money, property, prestige, all of it. And slowly God said no. You have another course of action, Marge. You have another way in which you're to go. So it started from me going to Oregon because that's what I wanted to do. That was my plan. And ever since we then there, it was just like, it was like the grand design of getting us all the way. I still don't know how we got to New Mexico. I mean, sometimes I'm just like, thank you, God, you know, for getting me the strength to get through this. You know? And now we can just now I can just spend the year looking for a place around here. Because it's cool. You know, winters, yeah, it's just pretty much going to suck anywhere a couple months out of the year. No place is going to be 100% of how I want it. No place is, you know. That's why I'm like, you got to take the good and bad. But it's not as hot, I guess, as Flagstaff. Uh, um, I don't know. People are freaking super friendly. I've had more positive encounters, and I haven't even had like really negatives. It was just like plastics, just like you run into occasionally. AI is already winning and has already won because some people are just programmed by what they're seeing on the TV. And so when people are just completely, all they do is regurgitate things that they hear or that they've heard or seen, and they don't even know how to build thoughts, lines of thinking from that. AI is already freaking winning. You don't gotta have no chip or nothing in you. You just don't know how to think. And they started that years ago, and they started taking art and music out of schools when they started cutting all those programs, all the creative stuff, all the creative stuff. Yeah. Yeah, you don't let people expand their imagination, then it's easier to get their line of scope focused, and so that they're going to look at only the stuff that, you want them to see and believe only the stuff that you want to believe. The fact is, though, truth has a vibrational frequency, and that's coming through. So more and more people are like, ching, that's core shit. And they're just not, no, that's not your world. People, and come into another situation, well, that's crap. It's just like, and that's why it's important to do things today that are going to set you up in the future. The past is past. I can't do anything back then that's going to help me in the future. So every day I just try not to live how I used to live and try to do better today so I don't have the same experience that I had in the past. It's how you learn. It's how people are supposed to learn. But you have so many people that just have this they go to the same job. They're stuck in this like loop, this matrix blip, and they call it a life, and so many people are waking up to like, hey, this isn't true. Hey, this isn't real. Hey, the government's been lying. What? What? I was listening to she was cool. I gotta see. I sent it to Carl. Where is it? It was Gina something. Gina Maria Colvin Hill. And the talk is just this morning called Good Morning. And I think it's like 19-20 minutes long. 25 minutes long. Anyway, it's pretty cool. Just go. It's pretty cool. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Coral got a new coffee pot. Gummies and pipes for me. Good for you. We need psych evals for putting up with it. We got your 6. Fragine thinks that makes me feel. The mom and I say that around here. I got your 6. Mm-hmm. We got your 6. Mom and I say that there. But that's what the new earth is going back into. It's, I don't gotta freaking travel around and go hang out with people, because I can do that. I can, like, anybody that ever, I can talk anybody, like, if there's a female or even a male that has a vehicle and you want to, like, learn how to change the oil of your own car, just let me know. I'll talk you through it. It's freaking really simple. Save yourself. Well, some places they're like $25, but some places they're like freaking $89, $100, and it's so simple, and you can get rid of the stuff yourself. So I can teach a lot of people how to do a lot of things, and all you got to do is have Zoom or Facebook, something with Messenger, and then people pay me whatever they think it's worth, and bartering's going to come back. I'm so excited. Bartering's going to come back. People are already doing it around here, trading goods and services. People already know I make badass cooking. You know what I mean? And I just give my stuff away. That's the thing. Is I give myself away, the stuff away that my cookies, and then let people know that I do other things, photography. dude, there's so much cool stuff. And the gal that I rent this place from, she's grown up around here her whole life, about 30 miles north, more specifically. But there's just so many gorgeous places, and I love when locals know all the nooks and crannies and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna get my camera and grab, rally up the DOGs, and we're gonna freaking head out and take some pictures. And God, it's just really pretty here. It is really pretty here. It really is pretty here, and it feels good. Like, I mean, I don't know if it was the elevation, because I know I had like what I've heard people. I had a hard time adjusting to the elevation, and then plus for driving 23 hours straight. I mean, it was just a really challenging period of time, and so a lot happened in a short period, and so it was a lot of spikes. But I was still meditating, and I was still go through every day, because I can do freaking a whole lot of suck one day at a time, and then when it's over, it's like, thank goodness, thank God for carrying me through that, And just some days I would just be like weird kid praying, just like, oh, God help me, God help me, God help me, God, open the door, just so I would just be praying to God and not thinking any other thoughts about this sucks or whatever, or any of that. It's funny, I look over, Mom's not in the chair, and I look over again, she's in the chair. She's like a little stealth. She's a mouse. She's a quiet little lady. She's soft-footed. I'm not soft-footed. I am small in stature, but people know when I'm coming when I walk. Anyway, so we're probably going to be on early tomorrow, I think. Just because it's Christmas and we got nothing better to do. It's just another day, Sometimes they're good. There have been so many years that Christmases were shitty, so I'm just excited that I get to hang out with my mom and my dogs, Especially after this year that we've had. So many, I listened to David Palmer talk about how his grandma's in lives in her own place, condo. She's 91 and you can't have visitors, so I have to hang out with grandma on Zoom. Dude, it could be, I'd be like, dude, grandma, we're going to hang out anyway. Because you don't know, she's here now. You don't know if she's going to be here next Christmas. So be with people now. All this fear-imposed stuff, man, supposedly it's supposed to let up with the energy as we move more into spring. And a lot of this masculine energy is going to subside, because if people do the work, even the men, and you become cool with the feminine energy in you, then we could shift to a more balanced state. But that's a lot of men, it's a lot of women. That's women in their masculine energy that have denied their feminine. See, I already been through it. But that's why I call the talk the spiritual helpers, is because I've been through all of that, and I can read people's energy and help just give them things to freaking get themselves out of that energy. One of the best things you can do if you're going through monkey mind and mental loop, go bake cookies for your neighbor up the street. Go do something for somebody else. Stop thinking about yourself. It would behoove you. It's worked for me for years. I've done a lot of stuff. I had a lot of Artie's so crashed out. I've had a lot. That's so loud. He loves his sweater too. I've had a lot of hobbies because of trying to keep my mind busy from keep staying out of my head. Because people start thinking about stuff and they just, dude, that stuff ain't out here. So when people start getting stuck in loops and stuff and start getting mad, and especially the holiday season, people add alcohol to it, people getting weird. They get stuck in, they'll get an idea of something that happened in high school, and then like be around somebody that like reminds them in high school, and then you got to keep reminding them, dude, I ain't them. You know what I mean? It's people get stuck in loops when they're on different stuff. They get repeaty, and it's just like, you know, is that all you can talk? Let's anything else you like? You know? And sometimes I catch myself because I often got to ask my mom the same question. So sometimes I'll like ask her, and then I'll find myself, I ask her like 2 minutes later, I'm like, Mom, I know I just asked you that. I'm sorry. Like, who's the one with the memory trouble, you know? Yay for you, Carl. Yay for you and your flower. So that's cool. That's cool that you did. I used to do that stuff in Aaron when I was in Omaha, and that's the thing is when I was. Wait a minute. Let me close this. When I was in and plus you drive to the small places, and that's where they have the best stuff and the most obscure places. But when I lived in the Midwest, like, oh God, Stella's. Block 16 is my favorite. Block 16 is one of those that I often say, if you're ever in Omaha, it's not even too far from the airport. Go to Block 16, because when you land, all you got to do is put in your order. Probably even just have to get a special. Go down, pick it up, because it's right down. It's like you can do it. It's worth it. Tell them Not So Large Marge sent ya. Oh, I was asking people if they wanted a calendar to go to. I didn't tell them where to go to get a camera. It's calendar. It's Obi Dog Journey. Obi Dog Journey. That's where my dogs were on the calendar to the back of. On Facebook, and then there's an Etsy page. I'm blocked. I can't buy one. I've tried just to like support, and then I was just like, you know what? I don't have to buy a calendar to support it. She probably don't want to hear from me nowhere, no how. So I think there was like I'll just on my Not So Large Marge's behalf, if you want to go buy a calendar, it's a good calendar. And they're only like $15 and stuff. And I love those dogs. Those dogs are such cool dogs, you know. It don't matter. And that's the thing. I had to learn a long time ago. What people think about me is none of my business. And that's whether they hate me or they really, really like me. It doesn't matter. I got to just be freaking principled and respectful to everybody I come across. Because I'm tired of freaking making this freaking energy, and then I meet that energy with contempt or spite or something, and I don't want to live that way no more. See? That's why a lot of people have the same days, is they keep living the way that they've always lived. Don't do nothing different. It's weird to me. But, Block 16 in Omaha. But I always like, and I like to when I go visit places, I research too, like where the locals like to go, you know. I was into the hot dog, like where to get the best hot dog a few years back, probably back around 2012, 2010, back then. But I don't really eat hot dogs much anymore. I can't really eat processed food much anymore. I mean, I do eat it. I'm not completely void of it. I just understand that it makes me feel crappy too. And how much better I feel when I eat natural, not even organic. Organic is such a fucking crock. Organic is such a crock. They stamp organic and then charge you $2 more for whatever it is. It's just, I never believed in their who standards. Who says who? That's been me my whole life. Says who? Who's in charge? Who says that? You can't do that. Why? You can't go there. Why? You can't go in that door. Why? You can't look in that drawer. Why? I've been asking for 46 years. I still don't get answers. You know what? Now that like frequency is coming into play, I was talking about Carl and I were talking, like, I said, I've got more stuff from, like, osmosis and through, like, being the same frequency and taking the self-care and communicating with my ancestors, you know? Because I know what I know. And then every now and again I come across data or statistics or a paper that explains verbally what I know. But I ain't going to take the time to put it on paper. They already did it. I don't got it. I already know it. So, isn't that funny how data works? You know? And I've been high vibrational pretty much. You know, there are times I was low vibing when I was drinking. And I had a lot of spirits come into me. And I didn't even realize. Because people don't think, oh, that's woo-woo. That doesn't happen. Dude, why do you think so many people get freaked out at 2 o'clock in the morning? 2:30 when they wake up and they're just like terrified. That's because you got that vibe of a disassociated freaking spirit because somebody just got freaking something happened to them and it was too much for their body to bear, so they disassociated. So you got a little piece of their fear. And it comes through electrical currents, it comes through flashes of light, it comes through all kinds of ways. So that's the thing, is the balance of trauma. People that have experienced bullshit on this planet has been too significant, and there you have these percentage of population that are in positions of authority that they've deemed themselves in power that hadn't had those experiences. So they're creating a life like that place don't exist, and it does. And it needs to be a more broader spectrum for everybody. There needs to be more inclusion, see. Well, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I've been running my mouth for a long time. I think that's about all I got for now. I hope you guys all have a rad evening. Happy holidays. Somebody said Merry Christmas to me today. I just said it back. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Mom.
Merry Christmas, Mom.
It's not, I used to not, because when I was a little girl, I hated saying it. Merry Christmas, because I'd say it funny. Merry Christmas, because I'd talk funny. Merry Christmas. And so people would be like, haha, say it again. And I'd be like, Merry Christmas. And they'd be like, ha, what? Say it again. And I'd be like, they're just having me say it so they can laugh at me. And that's mean-spirited. And those people are running the fucking country. And that's just mean-spirited. So, but the thing is I will match more spirit in the earth the more I come into spirit in myself. So the goodness that I see in the earth is going to be mirrored with the goodness for me. So I can't be focusing on all the negative shit because that's the negative in me. So what I got to focus on is the positive. And that ain't easy for me, man. I'm Scorpio moon, dude. So anyway, I think you ready? You ready to watch a movie?
Yeah.
All right. You know, it's funny. Keegan did a talk today on Polar Express. I loaned it. It was one of my freaking favorite freaking movies that I didn't even see it until I was in my 30s. And then because I hated Christmas because they were always so woeful. Because I didn't have a family. I never get presents. It's like it's just it just has always been a sad time. And so I tried to do things to make it less sad, start to find my own traditions. One of them was watching Polar Express. And I love that cartoon movie. And now it's like, and Keegan did a talk about it earlier. She's never seen it. It's just like that guy, because of his ego, it's like he puts a damper in all the nasty stuff he's done. He puts a damper on good things because he's been a part of it. But the thing of it is you can't take the good memories away that I had with it, So, when I love the movie for like good 3 years, I watched it every Christmas. Hot cocoa, had my own tradition, usually on a snowy night in Omaha. Good stuff. And then, you just can't let people, what they become, take away the goodness of that's positive of the exchange of what you had with them. at one point, whether they're a famous person or somebody you're related to in life. Because a lot of people are ending timelines right now. So many timelines are ending. So, you know, the only one I fight to hang on, the timeline I fight to hang on to is the one I got with Mom. Anybody else? Yeah. You know, keep in touch if you want. Otherwise,